Hello, my lovelies, amazings, beautiful, and wonderfuls. Yep, that's you. You know your name. Thank you for joining me on I Am Maggie. And so, what we are doing, we are working on Dr. Wayne Dyer, Excuses Be Gone. And this book is to help how to change lifelong self-defeating thinking habits. As many of us are working towards our goals, dreams, and our purposes in this world, and doing our inner and outer work and helping others, these books can be of help. So hit that like button and subscribe and leave your positive comments. I look forward to hearing it. So we're going to get going. We're now in chapter 2. Peace in, peace out. We're in chapter 2 and it's called Your Two Minds. So here we go. This is a quote. The hell to be endured hereafter, of which theology tells, is no worse than the hell we make for ourselves in this world, by habitually fashioning our character in the wrong way. We are spinning our own fates, good or evil. From the Principles of Psychology by William James. And that's something like I take to heart because I really feel our lives are worth our lives, this opportunity to be in this beautiful temple of God, living this life. But I also don't have that subscribe to the idea like I'm just gonna do something and then check boxes and then check out and go to heaven. I believe like when you leave, energy is not created, destroyed, and when the soul leaves the temple, the body, if you didn't do your work, that's you're still going to be conscious of that, either in a conscious or unconscious way. I need to do that work. So if I'm like going through things like anxiety, depression, or something's bothering me, I really work hard to heal myself and get on top of that, because I don't have the idea that I'm just going to check some magical list and be a good person and then I'll go to heaven. Like, and it's not all about work. It's God gives us grace, but it's just that point too that we have to do our part. You can't just sit, like even with manifesting, you can affirm all you want, but if you're not aligning with it, the thought, you're not feeling the thought, there's not coherence, it's not going to manifest. So same with our work. So if you do the work will do you. So I'm going to start going. Here we go. Some time ago, I challenged myself to study the process of making dramatic thought transitions using attitudes and behaviors that had been with me for a lifetime. So even Wayne Dyer, right? Like everybody's going through their processes, and he's being open to share with us, you know, that he was overcoming attitudes and behaviors like we are. So for several years, I scrutinized precisely what I did to undo those old patterns in myself. This activity led me to question basic beliefs about the legitimacy of environmental and genetic authority in determining who I am and what I can change. Due to my success in modifying my thoughts and subsequently my actions, I developed a new paradigm for eliminating unwanted lifelong thinking habits. So that's what we're here doing, guys. Whatever it is that you want to eliminate, we're going to be working through this book. We're going to be working it out through this book and our work. You know, kind of like when you start, if you're listening to this video, you stepping into this container of love here, just the words that you hear will begin to start to spur in you change. You will start to notice, just by us interacting in this community, you will begin to feel the upgrade. You will begin to become aware of things within yourself and around you that you weren't aware of, because together we are all connected in this quantum field, and that spurs us forward. So I just want to encourage you as you become more and more aware. At first glance, much of what I'm sharing here may seem radical and inconsistent with established psychology and sociological academic tenets. So be it. Here is what I believe, and this is how I see it. And you know, guys, that's kind of why when you look in medical field, we are practicing medicine on you, because we are practicing. And that basically it's constantly evolving. A treatment that you might have done for gastroesophageal reflux or something, you wouldn't do today. And that's going to be true in the next 1 year to 5 years to 10 years. So embrace the change, because better and better materials and tools are being made available. But this book has really helped millions, and I think through our reading we will be able to help each other. So here we go. In a brilliant one-act play by Jean-Paul Sartre titled No Exit, the central character states empathetically, a man is what he wills himself to be. The idea of willpower is a core theme in much of my earlier writing, and I still strongly subscribe to the belief that we all have within us an invisible force that we recognize as will. Yes, and I would agree with that. I think everybody, if you've ever had somebody say no to you, your mom says no to you, if you're not in agreement, that will spikes up and says, oh, no, I'm gonna eat that candy, or I'm gonna go out with whoever, or whatever. So we all kind of have an idea. But I also know that there are many facets in our lives that seem to be beyond the plate of the will. For example, it often isn't enough to eliminate lifelong habits. Identifying and changing some thoughts, particularly those that have been with us for what seems like forever, requires a brand new perceptual process. So am I going to get with this, or am I going to get with this? Am I seeing it this way, or am I seeing it that way? Right? Perception is everything. In contrast to Sartre's observation, Ralph Waldo Emerson offers this: man is a stream whose source is hidden. Our being is descending into us from we know not whence. Yeah, that's a beautiful quote. I'm going to read that again. Man is a stream whose source is hidden. Our being is descending into us from we know not whence. And if you ever sit and pray, or sit in the stillness, or meditate, or just in general, if you're really tapped in, awake and aware, we always feel that presence. It's that presence that gives us breath, and that presence that makes us present. In the mid-1600s, Benedict de Spinoza made a similar observation about the human mind, which I read in my college days and have never forgotten. Quote, the human mind is part of the infinite intellect of God. Okay, I'm going to read that to you probably 2 more times. The human mind is part of the infinite intellect of God. So your human mind is part of the infinite intellect of God. I still apply this to myself whenever I question how or why I got myself into one of the many predicaments I brought upon myself throughout my adult life. That's an excellent point. The mind that Spinoza is referring to has no form or substance, is always working, even while you're sleeping, and most significantly is your connection to Source. Viewed in this light, it is your personal God component, always with you, always ready to serve you in fulfilling another of Spinoza's observations. The mind's highest good is the knowledge of God. So this is another one of Spinoza's quotes and observations. Oh, it goes on. The mind's highest good is the knowledge of God. Yes, your mind is largely responsible for who and what you've become, but there is also a beingness buried within you, in a place where your thoughts originate. Emerson suggests that it's a mystery, descending into us from we know not whence. How beautifully and poetic is their writing? Okay, I'm going to read that one more time. The mind's highest good is the knowledge of God. Yes, your mind is largely responsible for who and what you become, but there's also a beingness buried within you, in a place where your thoughts originate. Emerson suggests that it's a mystery, descending into us from where we know not whence. These two ideas about human nature combine in you to form what I call two minds. The one that frequently referred to as your conscious mind is what I call creative consciousness. And the other is your habitual mind, which, as I explained in the last chapter, is what I call the subconscious mind. And yet, whether they originate in creative consciousness or the habitual mind, I believe that any thought pattern that don't enhance or expand your joyous development are excuses. So did you get that? Any thought pattern that doesn't enhance or expand your joyous development are excuses. And joy comes from God. Like joy comes, the Spirit pours over you, you just feel complete joy and bliss. Calm and peace, stillness. It's, depending on where you are in the spectrum, but yes. As you will see, this means that you have far more influence than you've probably been led to believe to rearrange and change ineffectual and harmful beliefs or ideas. So we are in the universe and we are the universe. So what universe are you creating? And then take some time to sit back and think about your creative mind, or what he calls the conscious, and your habitual mind, the subconscious. All right, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate this time with you. Hit like, hit subscribe, don't forget, and leave your positive comments. It's such a joy to be with you. All right, see you tomorrow, and you know what's next. Peace in, peace out.